Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, guys. Welcome to our lesson today. We will study lesson 8, reading page 60 and 61. Before we start reading, here are food discoveries that we will listen and read about. Can you tell me what are these discoveries? Yes, Yusuf?
Chocolate cake and potatoes and ice cream.
Ice cream, yes. Okay, we call this, as we will listen now, we call this popsicle. Okay, this is called popsicle, and this called ice cream cone. Ice cream cone, and the third discovery is about cookies. Okay, as you see, chocolate chip cookies, and last discovery is about the potato chips. Okay, so we have 4 discoveries here in our lesson today. Now let's listen first to the text, then we will read and discuss some questions about the text. Listen.
Accidental food discoveries. Can you imagine a world without cool, creamy ice cream cones? Isn't it depressing to imagine life without chewy, delicious chocolate chip cookies? And who could get by without salty, addictive, crispy potato chips? Yet all these treats are fairly recent inventions that may never have come into existence if it weren't for lucky accidents. Have you ever enjoyed the cool refreshment of a popsicle on a hot summer day? If so, you have an 11-year-old boy named Frank Epperson to thank. One winter day in 1905, young Epperson was making soda pop by mixing powdered soda and water. He accidentally left the mixing bucket outside with a mixing stick in it overnight. That night, the temperature reached freezing. In the morning, Epperson discovered that the fruit-flavored liquid had frozen to the stick. Although he tried and liked his invention, it wasn't until 18 years later that it occurred to him to turn his invention into a business. Epperson's children referred to this treat made by their pop as a popsicle. That name stuck, and eventually became the official name. Today, popsicles are enjoyed by millions of people around the world. But perhaps your dessert of choice on a hot day is an ice cream cone. If so, you should be glad for the unexpected event that brought 2 men together at the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. An ice cream vendor named Charles Menches was doing such booming business that he ran out of bowls to put the ice cream in. The vendor next to Menches was a young Syrian immigrant named Ernest Hamwi. Hamwi was selling a Syrian treat called zalabia, a crisp, wafer-like pastry. Hamwi came up with a solution to Mench's quandary. Hamwi rolled some of his warm pastry into a cone so that Mench's could put ice cream inside. In that instant, a favorite international hot weather treat was born. Of course, not everyone is a fan of frozen treats. Some prefer the indulgence of delicious freshly baked goods, like chocolate chip cookies. These people should be grateful for an accidental discovery made by an American housewife in 1930. One day, Ruth Wakefield was making chocolate cookies when she realized she had run out of baker's chocolate. Wakefield decided to substitute broken up pieces of a chocolate bar she had on hand. She assumed that the small pieces of chocolate would melt and mix into the batter. However, after taking the cookies out of the oven, Wakefield discovered that the chocolate hadn't melted. Instead, there were little chips of chocolate throughout the cookie. Much to Wakefield's delight, the chocolate chip cookie proved to be a great success with her family and guests. Wakefield sold the recipe to the chocolate company Nestle in exchange for a lifetime supply of chocolate chips. It wasn't long before the chocolate chip cookie became a world-famous treat. But if crunchy, salty treats like potato chips are your preference, then you owe a debt of gratitude to a cranky chef and a picky diner who lived over 150 years ago. On August 24th, 1853, George Crumb was working as a chef in a restaurant when he became frustrated with a customer. The customer had repeatedly sent back his French fries, complaining that they were too thick and soggy. Fed up, Crumb decided to teach him a lesson. Crumb sliced the potatoes as thinly as possible and fried them in grease. To Crumb's astonishment, the customer thought the chips were delectable. They became a regular item on the restaurant's menu and, in time, became a staple of the global fast food industry. Clearly, not all accidents are bad. Some have made our lives richer, sweeter, and tastier.
Okay, guys. So, the common between all these discoveries that all of them are discovered by accidentally, okay, by chance. Okay, Yusuf, start reading.
Accident food discoveries. Can you imagine a world without cool, creamy ice cream cones? Isn't depressing to imagine life without it? Chewy, delicious chocolate chip cookies, and who could get by without salty, addictive crispy potato chip? Yet all these treats are
Treats.
fairly recent invention that may never have come into existence if it weren't for lucky accidents.
Okay, thank you, Yusuf. Okay, so all of them come by lucky or by accidents. Okay, and the word these treats means gift or something that make you feel pleasure. Okay, or entertainment. The second paragraph. Okay, Basil.
Have, have you ever enjoyed the cool refreshment of popsicle on a hot summer day? If so, you have an 11-year-old boy named Frank Person to thank. One winter in 1905, young person was making soda pop by mixing powdered soda and water. He accidentally left the mixing bucket outside with the mixing stick in it overnight. That night, the temperature reached freezing. In the morning, a person discovered that the fruit flavored liquid had frozen to a stick. Although he tried and licked like his invention, it wasn't until 18 years later that it occurred to him to turn his invention into a business. Children referred to his treat made by their pop as a popsicle. That name stuck and eventually became the official name. Today, popsicles are enjoyed by millions of people around the world.
Okay, thank you, Basil. So here, as we listened, he didn't intend to invent this or discover this, but it came by accident. Okay, he left some of his mixing stick or mixing bucket outside with the mixing stick in it overnight, and with the temperature, when the temperature reached freezing, in the morning he found that his mixtures is on the stick frozen. From here come the popsicles. Next paragraph. Okay, yeah.
But perhaps your dessert of choice on a hot day is an ice cream cone. If so, you should be glad of the unexpected event that brought two men Charles mentions together at 1904 Street Louis World Fair. An ice cream vendor named Charles Mitchell was doing such booming business that he ran out of bowls to put the ice cream in. The vendor next to mentions was a young Syrian immigrant named Ernest Hamwi. Hamwi was selling a Syrian treat called zalabia, a crisp wafer-like pastry. Hamwi came up with a solution to mention's Gadroni. Hamwi rolled some of his warm pastry into a cone so that mentions could put ice cream inside. In that instance, a favorite international hot weather treat was born.
Okay, thank you, Iyad. So, Hamwi tried to help his friend by making this pastry to put the ice inside, okay, and then it becomes the ice cream cone as we see it today, okay. So it also came by accident or by chance. The third discovery is the chocolate chip cookies. Who can read this? Okay, Abdullah.
Of course, not everyone is fan of frozen treats. Some prefer the indulgence of delicious, freshly packaged goods like chocolate chip cookies. These people should be grateful for an
Accidental discovery.
discovery made by an American housewife in 1000 and
1930. It's easier to say 1930.
yes. One day,
Rasmutfeld. This is the name of the woman, okay, or the housewife.
okay, was making chocolate cookies when she realized that she had run out of Baker's chocolate. Wakefield they decided to
Substitute means replace. Replace the broken up pieces. Yes.
Okay, broken up. Pieces of chocolate bar she had on hand. She
Assumed that. Yes. She thought
that
yes.
That the small pieces of chocolate would melt and mix into the
Chocolate.
chocolate had not melted.
Instead,
Instead, there were little chips of chocolate
throughout
the cookies. Much the Wakefield's delight, the chocolate chip cookies proved to be a great success with her family and guests. Wakefield sold the
recipe is the way she make this cookie, okay, the way she used to make this cookie recipe. Okay, thank you, Abdullah. Listen, Wakefield sold the recipe to the chocolate company Nestle in exchange for a lifetime supply of chocolate chips. It wasn't long before the chocolate chip cookie became a world famous treat. Okay, so she made this by chance also. Okay, she ran out of chocolate and she had to use the broken up pieces of chocolate. Okay, after she used them, then she made this, okay, and put this in the oven. After she cooked it or finished this, she discovered that the chocolate hadn't melted. There were little chips on chocolate throughout the cookie, okay, and from here she proved to be a great success with her family and guests, okay. Here the word butter. Butter means mixture of flour, egg and milk, which is used to bake or to make this cookie. Last discovery. Okay, Salim. Last discovery.
crunchy, salty treats like potato chips are your preference.
Preference, something you prefer, you like. Yes, then?
Then you debate graduate to cranky chef.
Yes. Cranky means
chef.
irritable or someone who is a bad tempered. Picky diner is the person who is selective or someone who is not easy to please. Okay, these two person we must thank them. Why? Go on, Salim.
Picky dinner who liked over 1050 years ago on
Picky
August
diner.
24.
Again, Salim. A picky diner.
Picky diner who lived over 1050 years ago on August 24. 150 years ago on August 24, 1853, George Krem was working as a chef in a restaurant when he became
Frustrated means feeling annoyed. Yes.
With a customer. The customer had repeatedly sent back has French fries
complaining means he was angry. Yes, that
complaining that they were too thick and
soggy means wet.
Fed up. Sagi fed up. Kram decided to teach him a lesson. Some sliced the potatoes and thinly as possible and trade them in grease.
Grease means the oil. Yes, put the potatoes, the thinly potatoes in the oil. Yes. Crimes, astonishment. Astonishment. Okay. That's enough. Thank you, Salim. To Crime's astonishment, the customer thought the chips were delectable. Delectable means delicious. Okay, good. They became a regular item on the restaurant's menu and in time became a staple of the global fast food industry. A staple means a common or important item. Clearly, not all accidents are bad. Some have made our lives richer, sweeter, and tastier. Answer the questions. Number one, in your own words, explain how popsicles were invented. Okay, Yusuf?
In my own word, a boy can lift a bucket of soda. That called at night mixing stick. It makes it stick like frozen. Froze.
Okay, Yusuf. So he made it by accident. Okay, by chance. Yes. Okay, a boy left a bucket of soda but out on cold night with a mixing stick in it and it froze. Number two, where was the ice cream cone invented? Where? Yes, Basil?
At the 1904 Louis World's Fair.
Okay, where is about the place, Louis World's Fair. Okay, thank you, Basil. And number three, how did Syrian culture contribute to the invention of the ice cream cone? A Syrian immigrant named Ernest Hamwi rolled up his pastry to make a cone for the ice cream. Number four, what did Ruth Wakefield get from Nestle in exchange for her recipe. Of course, she received a lifetime supply of chocolate chips, okay, because she told them how to make or how she discovered the cookie. Why did George Crumb originally create the potato chip? Because a customer complained about his French fries being too soggy or too soggy. Crumb was going to teach him a lesson by giving him very crisp French fries. Lesson 9, speaking. Work in pair or group, make a list of desserts and snacks that are popular and try to decide what makes them popular. For example, textures, flavor, aroma, presentation, ingredients, etc. Think about a new dessert or snacks and make notes in the chart. Use your notes to present your dessert snack in class. Choose what you think is the best new dessert or snack and say why you think it's the best. Here you write the name, your favorite dessert and snacks, the name here, the ingredients or flavor. Here, pot or homemade. Is it pot or homemade? And here, how to make it. And the new dessert or snack. The same here, the name, the ingredients, pot, and how to make it. For example, the Oreo. All of you know the Oreo, okay? It has a lot of flavors. You can choose between cream. The ingredients are flour, sugar, cocoa, baking soda. Bought or homemade, it's of course bought. And how to make it? It's difficult to make like it at home. The new dessert, for example, Lay's. The flavor lightly salted PPC. Ingredients: potatoes, vegetable oil, barbecue, and salt. Bought or homemade, you can buy it or you can also make it at home, but it will not be as the bought one. How to make it? Just season and soak potato slices into a bowl, then fry them in the oil. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and see you next lesson. Inshallah. Goodbye.